Disclaimer: the Rascals Lounge podcast is provided solely for informational and entertainment purposes. Content discussing health, sports, esports, music, politics, finance, law, celebrities, or any individual in any field is not professional advice or a substitute for consultation with qualified experts, for example, physicians, attorneys, or coaches. Listeners must consult licensed professionals before acting on any information. Opinions expressed by hosts, guests, or third parties are their own and do not reflect the views of the Rascals Lounge podcast or its affiliates. We make no representations or warranties regarding the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of any content and expressly disclaim liability for any direct, indirect, incidental, consequential, or punitive damages arising from its use. References to music, lyrics, or other copyrighted material are for commentary or critique only and do not imply ownership. The Rascals Lounge podcast is not responsible for third-party statements or actions taken by listeners based on podcast content. By listening, you assume all risks and agree to this disclaimer. Always consult with a licensed attorney to ensure compliance with applicable laws.
Welcome to the Rascals Lounge podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rascals Lounge podcast. Well, today we got a special guest, and this guest, his name is Drax. Drax is very familiar in the political realm and all the stuff that's going on in America. Well, guys, I'm proud to introduce you to Drax. Drax, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? It's good to be here, man. Great to
Heck
finally
yeah.
get on the show. Great to finally be here, Jeff.
Hey, man, good deal. Yeah, I've been wanting to bring somebody that is up to current what stuff that's going on with the United States, because I'm kind of like sometimes I'm in, I'm out, I'm getting coverage of other stuff and sports and stuff, so I don't know what's going on. I'm just getting stuff on X, like what the heck is going on in
The
Texas?
gist of that would be that, from what I understand, they're redistricting, which some people call that like gerrymandering, to get more.
Oh,
So
okay.
what they did was they took a flight, a jet out of there, so they would not have to be in Congress, making them in contempt of Congress. So you got Jasmine
Oh,
Crockett and the crew said, "Hey, we're getting out of town, then we don't want to vote," but that's contempt of Congress. So the governor, from what I understand, has put out a felony warrant for them to return. It's not, I don't think, in my opinion, it's not that he wants them to go to jail or anything like that. That he just wants them back in their seats to vote on the redistricting.
okay. They're just trying to play the game then.
Yeah, they're playing a game, but they do a great game with it. They fly out in a jet, as they complain about the fuels and the air and the quality and all that. They're flying out in a
That's
jet to get
true.
the hell out of Dodge, man.
That's true. Wow, that's freaking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and when you think, I've lived a long time, never seen stuff like this. I know contempt of Congress can happen. People can walk out. You can have the master of arms cuff them and bring them back in. But yeah, they took off, so they have to have a warrant. Tell them to get back.
Oh,
But I don't
wow.
think, I don't think they're looking to perp walk them. They just want them in their seats where they need to be.
Correct.
Yeah, so you got Jasmine Crockett to deal with, and she can be a handful.
Oh, yeah, she is. Oh, my goodness. Her and AOC and
Yeah.
Bernie and I don't know if they all like each other. These people just freaking,
The way they are, I mean, I would assume they probably do because they're the few and the proud now.
yeah,
I mean, and I know we've had some hiccups with the party, recently, but you know what? I still think the American voter knows you want to go back to that. That's where we're going to head. And I pray that I'm wrong about the midterms coming up because I keep thinking, we might lose. We might, if we lose the
yeah.
House and Senate, it would make our president a lame duck.
Wow.
And if we lost the House and the Senate coming up, yeah, there would be all of our work would be flush. So I hope people realize that we have to get out there in the midterms. We have to at least. I want a red wave, but let's just make sure we have the majority, so we can still
Yeah,
get the work done.
correct. I agree, Drax. Man, I kind of jumped the ship on this. I for all my listeners that are around the world, can you give a little bit of a bio of yours? Just a little bit. Who you are, what is it you do, etc.
Rock on, man. Yeah, my name's Drax. I run a network over on the app called X, Elon's app, And I started in Spaces about 3, 4 years ago, just trying to find my feet, and then from there grew on to actually run some pretty decent ones. And I have Pub Chat now, which is a space on X. And this is for your listeners. It's the system on X where you don't see any visuals. You're calling into the thing. You can jump and get a mic. We're allowed 10 mics out, so it's a little different than a podcast. But I've been doing that for about the last year, really heavy, running a space called Pub Chat, trying to get that more out there and known. And I've been doing that with a lady named Kay Daly, who is the winner of the Reagan Award, plenty of experience in DC. She's a political genius. And then I also have a girl named Rodin that moved here from Ukraine in the after Chernobyl, and she's very intelligent too when it comes to political aspects of things. So
Yeah.
that show there runs Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 p.m. And my other shows, I try to do those just as pop-ups, at nighttime for people to have fun. But on the pub chat format is more of a political format to where we're doing humor with news at the same time. 'Cause
Mhm.
I always say that I think some of the spaces or even some of the podcasts I see that take news so seriously, and it gets old. It starts to feel like an echo chamber. So you got to mix it up with some kind of comedy in there. Make it
Right.
make it make it amusing. I mean, because if not, people are so burned out. I mean, I'm burned out almost on politics,
Yeah, me too.
and I tell them, I'm like, I like going to other people's stuff and their spaces or whatever you wanna call it, but I said, "Man, I hate when it's like the echo chamber of the same thing again and again and again." And that's what a lot of it happens, especially with a 24-hour news cycle, you're gonna be talking the same things over and over again. But I've been doing, spaces now going on, like I said, about 3, 4 years, and it has been a great experience, because I had no clue I'd be getting into this. I was actually, I kinda took an early retirement and was just, finding myself, and when I found this, I was like, "Man, I didn't even know what an influencer was," you know?
Mm.
I just looked at it like, "Oh, we got a group of friends talking," and then as I stuck around, I started getting like, "Oh, the people are doing shows," and I see that now, writing formats and changing things up. Been a hell of an experience in 4 years, 'cause, with the internet, you never know what you're gonna find every day.
That is so true.
I mean, and, X has a tendency it can be fun, the app X, but it also can feel like a prison sometimes when you're working all the time and dealing with so many people.
Strong Coffee Company brings a revolution to your coffee experience with its premium instant blends designed for those who seek both convenience and health benefits. The Black Fairtrade instant coffee stands out, offering a robust and smooth flavor similar to a traditional cup of coffee, but enhanced with added benefits. Each serving is enriched with 15 grams of high quality protein, 5 grams of MCTs, and 250 milligrams of adaptogens, including ashwagandha and theanine. This ensures sustained energy, improved alertness, and a calming effect without jitters. The unique combination of ingredients promotes better sleep and mental clarity, making it an ideal choice for busy professionals. For those who prefer a creamier option, Strong Coffee Company's lattes combine the benefits of protein, collagen, and hyaluronic acid with organic Arabica coffee and healthy fats to fuel your mind and body for hours. Strong Coffee Company's commitment to quality is evident in their use of eco friendly practices. With quick delivery and exceptional taste, their coffee is a convenient option and a nutritious addition to your daily routine. Experience a healthier, more productive day with Strong Coffee Company. Visit strongcoffeecompany.com and use promo code RASCALS at checkout to get 20% off your purchase. I do earn a commission when you use promo code RASCALS, which helps sustain and grow the podcast. Once again, visit strongcoffeecompany.com and use promo code RASCALS at checkout to get 20% off your purchase.
That's true, man. X is like that, and politics is like that as well. You need some humor. You know who I kind of like? You know, I'm in between. I kind of like him. He's doing pretty good. He brings some humor into it. Is Bill Maher?
Bill Maher, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I used to like hate this guy, but ever since he went to go visit Trump, his he changed. You could
Yeah.
tell he changed a lot. He was like, wait a second, I was wrong.
I don't agree with everything Trump does. I don't feel like
Oh, same here.
like some people like they're in a cult. It's like, not really. If there would have been a better guy up there, I would have voted for him.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't think you're gonna find in all my life, I've never seen a president so loved by the people, and also a president that seems to care about the country so much. So,
Yeah.
then I think that's all we can ask for in this system, is to hope we get the right person in, the lesser of two evils sometimes.
Oh, that's true. No, I agree with you because not everything he does is, is perfect. I mean, he's not. There's never going to be a perfect president. All these presidents are going to make mistakes. They're going to, pass something that we're not going to agree on.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen like that. It's like I tell some people that I know that are Democrats. That I mean, these are common sense Democrats, and I tell them, listen, not everything that Obama did was bad. There's some things that he did was good, and
Yeah.
I could tip my hat off to it. But there was a lot of things I really truly disagree that now we're paying the consequences. Same thing happened with Jimmy Carter. Same thing happened with Ronald Reagan.
Exactly.
Bush, especially Bush
That's what I would
Jr.
when the Epstein thing come up, as horrible as it is, and I know everybody felt jaded, I go, "A lot of single issue voters already." "Well, somebody promised me this." I said, "Haven't you had a president that's made a promise that hasn't keep it? Because I can go back in history and list them all the way to the beginning."
Oh yeah, remember this one?
It's
Read my lips. No
yeah.
new taxes.
Yeah, it's always it's
Oh
about yeah,
boy.
it's about the size of the lie, like the no new tax, everybody go, "Up, you're done. You're done."
Yeah.
As soon as he said that, he raised them. He was out, and I
Yeah.
said, "How many presidents has told you they're gonna do something and it doesn't happen that way?" I said, "I look at a president like if he makes me 8 promises and he keeps 4 of those promises, we're winning." We're
Exactly. That is true. That is true. Gosh, man. So we were talking about something, earlier, but with the Texas thing. You think that's gonna get resolved?
Oh, yeah, I think eventually they'll go back and do the vote. This is all grandstanding again.
Okay.
They need the headlines, and they definitely wanna make their people see, like, "We tried. We did
Yeah.
something, we tried." But, yeah, I think they'll go back. I mean, that's their home. They gotta go back.
They
So,
gotta go
this
back.
was this was another Democratic stunt that we were
Yeah.
we're coming off if you I wanna bring this up too, that Sydney Sweeney.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I saw it and thought just a commercial. Then a little bit later, everybody's upset. The left is upset. Okay,
Yeah.
well, so we win one, right? Finally, the right wins one. They get their commercial. That's what they've been waiting for. So then, from what I'm understanding now, is somebody on the right turned around and doxed Sydney Sweeney to prove that she was a Republican, giving out her information. Damn, can't we just take a win and be good with it? You
Yeah.
know? I mean, we doxed our own person to prove to who? The 30% of the country left over there that's voting for these people that are voting left? That we were right? That we had to just take the win. And that's another problem with the Republican Party. Sometimes they shoot themselves in the foot.
Yep, they do. They
Take
do.
your wins when you can get them, man. Just enjoy the Gene ad from American Eagle. Enjoy the
Yeah.
ad, you
Enjoy
know?
the ad is
Yeah,
jeans, not
I know I was. I know.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Nobody complained when Beyonce did it for Levi.
Yeah, but that
Levi
was
jeans, and she was blonde hair and
yeah.
she was wearing them, I just think nowadays they take everything so extreme. I
Always.
mean, way far to the extreme
It's like they
that
put their emotions so much into everything, and a lot of people do that these
everything.
days, and I think the internet and the way it's amplified our lives is part of the reason people do that. They get too emotional and they put too much into it.
They're overthinking everything. I mean, I know I could never imagine American Eagle doing something, that's
Yeah.
off base, and I know they're not. Is
What I'm
it
wondering is
cheaper?
if American Eagle even knew, is I don't know if they knew before it came out if it would even be a big deal. It's
Oh,
like, cute
I
blonde
don't
girl in
think
a pair
so.
of jeans, good ad. Maybe we'll do a different person next time. But no, I mean, they get up and their whole world's turning upside down.
I posted a picture and it went pretty good on X. Had a lot of viewers, a lot of likes, and on somebody, I think it was Fox News, they posted something, and I put down, they were about everybody could wear jeans. And I
Yeah,
posted American Eagle photo that they put out years ago, and it shows everybody of every culture. Chinese,
everybody wants.
American, black, Hispanic, you could see all the ladies there just wearing jeans.
Yeah.
And people like, reposting it and clicking likes, So I mean,
Well, okay, so
it's just
they
ridiculous.
walk into a situation that's different than the Bud Light situation, because Bud Light went woke and everybody quit
Oh
drinking
yeah.
Bud Light, and that one I never understood either. I said, "What if you were the, CEO of Bud Light and you're in a meeting, and one person stands up and goes, 'Sir, I want to make Bud Light, we're gonna go woke with it.'
Hmm.
Alright. I would wonder if he's joking because it's one of our number one sellers, and already knowing as a consumer that people lost on this. Then I would wonder if I should fire the guy for even asking me to do something so crazy. So I
Correct.
don't understand their logic sometimes in this whole game they played. A lot of people have suffered from it. American Eagle, on the other hand, they're like in the opposite trajectory.
Correct.
So it's like they went back to the old school ways that everybody's been saying they want, and then they're taking the flag. Nobody wins here. There's never any middle ground with these people. Never.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that because at my show, I'm not completely all Republican. Oh, I will say on X, most of the spaces are dominantly Republican. And I
Right.
want Democrats and independents to come in and voice their opinion to me. The problem is they voice their opinion. You listen to them. You can agree to disagree, be impartial. If anybody else starts speaking, they just can't stop yelling or, getting angry. And I don't
Yeah.
understand that. It's like I grew up in an era where a Republican was a Republican, Democrat was a Democrat. It didn't really matter. As long as you weren't a jerk, you could hang out and party with us.
Yeah.
And that was in the 90s, so I don't get this whole how they got it so back and forth. And I don't think it can ever go back to the way it was. Peoples are so divided in this country still. And the only
Yeah.
thing we got going for us that I think is good is when I say divided, at least they're 30% and we're mostly the majority.
The majority. Yeah.
What we got. And,
I'm.
they want things to change, and I understand that. They want things to change, but change doesn't happen overnight. Everybody wants a golden age, and we're in the golden age. Not really. We're at the start. We're at the cusp of this golden age, and it's gonna take an era to fill it out. It will take longer than 4 years, and I think they have to keep their eye on the prize and understanding that.
Mm, I agree. I agree. Do you see it ever going back to? I mean, do you see the Democrat Party going back to how it was in the 90s? I mean, they used to have this mutual respect, and it was more common sense Democrat. There's
Mhm.
very few of them like that right now, because now what I'm seeing on TV, and all these politicians, they're just radical. I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, what happened to the common sense? I mean, Bill Maher was talking about that. He says common sense.
Yeah, and there's a lot of voters that are alive still that, lost JFK. The parents were JFK voters. I mean, when you look at, what happened with Kennedy that came over to our part, the right.
Correct.
I mean, a lot of people are the old school JFK Democrat, and this party resembles nothing of that. And I know they wanna get back to it, and I'm sure that's the plan to try to do something that resembles America again, but I don't think that can happen overnight, and it will take years. And then when you turn around and say, "Well, our new leader of our party will be Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez." Good. Let her run, and let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
I just it blows my mind. I mean, and then when you heard about what happened in that election with Kamala, $90 million missing. I mean,
Mm,
wow, what a loss. I mean, and then, to come up that short and they have to have buyer remorse in her. I
yeah.
mean, to come up that short and what was it, the last, day she coulda got out there and talked to people, Trump's out there campaigning, she's on Saturday Night Live. So, yeah, they need to actually start focusing, get back to I mean, if I was them, you'd wanna get back to your roots of your
Yeah.
party. How you do that after you put people through what I like to call the Agent Nero 2.0 is how I felt during the 4 years of Biden. I mean, it wasn't the America that I remembered anymore. This
Yeah,
woke
I agree.
ideology. And I don't care what people do in their own homes or whatever, but don't
Yeah.
push it on everybody, man.
Don't
God,
push it. And you know what's really crazy? I have talked to some people that I know and I work with that are, they're in the LGB, but they're not Qs. They say we separate ourselves from the Qs and the Ts and then all this stuff. I go, what do you mean? I say, well, I'm part of the LBG. That's it.
yeah,
And I said, do you agree with all this? I said, well, heck no. I know I'm not a
yeah.
man. And I was like, oh, okay, good. He says, man, it's common sense. So, I mean, it's just like, I believe and this is my opinion, that the Democrat Party should separate themselves from the wokes. Once they do that, they'll come to common sense and they'll fall into place and all this radical stuff. And I think they'll start, gaining trust and gaining the respect
Yeah.
of the American people. Now, again, it's my opinion. I mean, I
I
that's
still
what I
think
believe
that too,
they
I
should
think will
do.
take time, Jeff. It will take time for the American people, even it might take 10 years, maybe longer, for them to take time to understand they're turning away from whatever that was. It's not Americano the way they were
It's
living
not. It's
be
not.
around here. I mean, I'll be honest, when my mother, I got a hold of her during the election, she goes, "Man," she's a non-political type person. She votes, but non-political. And she seen the commercial of Kamala's talking about paying for transitional surgeries in prison. And she's like, "That's my," she was like, "That pisses me off." And it's like, see, that's what the older voter, they weren't ready to see that kind of shit. And who knows if they ever will be? Who wants to spend their tax money on what I consider the equivalent of a cosmetic surgery?
Yeah.
I mean, if a girl goes out there, I had a girlfriend once. She had big old double D's. She paid for them. Nobody. Guess what? They made her feel better, but she paid
Yeah.
for them. And they're saying, well, these people got to feel like who they are. Okay, well then pay for it, I guess, because they'll feel better about themselves. Well, so did she when she had a boob job for $10,000,
Exactly.
but it wasn't paid for by the taxpayer. So big difference, big difference. Any
Yeah.
cosmetic surgery, man, should be done by their own fruition, man. The taxpayer
Exactly.
should
That
not be paying for that, man. It'd
if
be
you
like
want
if I want a nose job, should you guys have to pay for my nose job? You're
yeah.
like, well, Drax doesn't like his nose. So,
I want a
so
tummy tuck. I want to lose some weight. Come
yeah,
on,
me
let's do
too.
this.
Yeah, vacuum it out so I don't have to take a diet.
Hey,
I mean,
you know what? The obesity is skyrocketing in the
and if
United
we go to
States.
our doctor and say, and we look him in the eye and say, well, it's actually, it's hurting who I am. It's making me feel down about myself.
That's
All
so
right, no,
true.
man. They tell you like, well, your insurance don't cover that, dude.
Yeah. Oh, but
So
it will cover,
yeah.
to transition.
It'll cover you to become a woman, but it won't cover you for that nose job, right? No. No, it won't cover you because that's cosmetic surgery. So I just see it that way, and I think the American taxpayer, especially our older generations, the people in their golden years, they were never ready for the age of Nero to pop out here like this, and that's what it
No.
was like for a lot of people. You go to Disneyland now, the bearded man's there, or the bearded
Mhm.
lady, I should say. What the hell's up with that? And I always would laugh about this. Republicans complain about Disneyland a lot, yet they all seem to vacation there still.
That is, you know what? That's so true.
I get it though.
That
Sometimes the
is,
kids want to go there, to
it's
Disneyland to ride
yeah, they
those.
do it for the
But
kids.
goddamn, I mean, as everybody says, and I agree, it's woke as shit. I mean, look what they did to the Marvel for a minute there. But a lot of people I know, they're still Republicans, say, "Well, I'm getting ready to go to Disneyland.
Yeah. So
Make sure the
what are you
make sure
doing?
the House of Mouse gets his money."
That's crazy. Crazy. Man, I don't know. I always said if you want to know a true if you know the differentiate uh a Democrat that has common sense, just ask them what is a woman.
Yeah,
If this Democrat would tell you, "Oh, a woman was a woman with female parts, the chromosomes, etc." That's a woman,
yeah,
and then you will know you're talking to somebody that has common sense. But
yeah.
if you
And
go
they
to
define it
ask
by
a,
definition, right? They define it
yeah,
on what it might be, or well, it's a man now living as a woman, or a woman living as a man who got pregnant now, so technically a man. What the hell? This is not
yeah,
biology. This isn't even in biology of life, man. This is craziness.
yeah, I always said, well, a woman is a female that doesn't have a prostate.
There you go.
Bingo. If a woman says she has to see a neurologist because she needs to get her prostate checked, I'm going to be very concerned.
Exactly.
I mean, because let me tell you what, when I go to the urologist, I don't see no females that are having to see
Exactly. Yeah, it's a
to get
lonely
her
visit for
prostate
men.
checked. So, it's the God honest truth. I just think it just gotten more ridiculous and more ridiculous, and I just don't.
And I'll ask you, because I asked this in a space yesterday of a person going on about this. What's the end game here? Like people say, like, well, we need to get it out. We need to make a difference. Is there any way we can put Pandora back in the box after you open it?
Mm,
I
that's a
mean,
good question.
let's just say we're cracking on it now and we're raising more masculine people. It's so out of the box now in society. I mean, I'm hoping we can reverse it. I mean, and help for the kids' sake. But once you open Pandora's box, it is hard to shut it.
I think it's gonna take somebody with big influence that gains the trust of all the Democrats. I don't know because right now even the Democrats so divided.
Yeah,
You
and see,
got the
even when they wanna go back to that party, they're still the host of the woke crowd, and, if they
yeah,
lose those, they lose a big voting block, so they're in a rock and a hard place when it comes to what they're gonna decide to do for their future. Their big voting block is counting on them to keep pushing woke ideology.
that's wild. I don't
Yeah,
know
I mean,
what
think
I
about
don't
it, they're
know.
big, like, AOC and all her voters or Fortnite players and all that of hers, they want that ideology, they don't want them to go against that, they want the man girl they want all that stuff to be pushed heavily. Now if they go and say, "You know what, we're gonna be a new Democratic Party, we're gonna be the JFK Democrat." Well, now you just offended all them because you're going what, old school again?
Yeah,
They're in a rock and a hard place, and I'm even interested to see how this plans out for them going and not even and this I don't think they stand a chance against Vance myself, but the election after that, the election after that, how long will it take for them to resume that identity of a Camelot Kennedy? Yeah, it's gonna
yeah,
take them a long time, and if and when, like I said, because Pandora's box is open, can they ever regain the trust and say to one side of their voter, "Well, we're going back to the old school," but then their big block saying, "Wait, that ain't what we want."
yeah. Well, to all my listeners, he Drax is not meaning that if you play Fortnite, because I
No,
know
no, no. I
he's
like
referring to
Fortnite.
something
Yeah, I like
different.
Fortnite. I just know that was the game that my girl AOC there was playing with them all when she was out here
Oh,
doing her thing, and I was like, "Okay, I get it, man. The Fortnite face is with her." The For
yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong, old Drax has about 20 skins too, so I'm good. Well, probably
yeah.
more than that, actually. Probably more than that. Probably
Oh my god. Yeah, me too. Oh man, that's
I
funny.
think I own every Marvel skin there is on Fortnite. I think I've
Oh
dropped down
gosh.
as Hulk and Captain America, all of them. Oh, even the Phoenix, man, even the ones that I'm guilty. I have done that.
So you play as well? That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, before I came to X and started doing all this, I mean, I had 10 years where I just studied documentaries and stayed on my own. I played a lot of Xbox and,
Okay.
Warcraft, and I watched them all, and I like them all. I just got burned out after too many years. It was the same games repeating itself. It always
Yeah.
another paint job, another year, and, for me, with a lot of the games, I would wait for the new one to come out, and then it'd be broken. And
Yeah.
they need like, "Well, we'll get it fixed in about 8 months," and it's like,
Or
"Damn,
patch
dude,
it
I
up.
spent
Yeah.
$130 on deluxe edition." You know?
Correct. Yeah.
I'm buying the pre-order and shit, and then the pre-order comes out, and they're like, "Well, we'll patch it up." That started bothering me, so I tell everybody nowadays, I'm like, what I do is I wait for the game if I wanna play a game, wait for it to come out, wait for it to be out for about 6,
Correct.
8 months, let them work on it and get all the kinks out of day 1,
Take all
then
the
you're right.
bugs out.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, because I play the majority of the time I play Rainbow Six Siege.
nice.
And I mean I like it's very, a lot of strategy involved. And they just did an update, and obviously there was tons of bugs. And I told some friends of mine, should I download it? I go, no, 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 no. Just give it 3 months and see what
Yeah.
happened.
Rainbow Six Siege, it's not a new one. Did they update in the original?
Yeah, they updated it.
Wow.
They updated it so many times that right now, if you were to play it versus when it came out, like in 2015, you're gonna see everything totally different.
Yeah.
You're
I'll
gonna
tell
see
you what, learning how to
everything
game
different.
playing that kind of like when I got into console stuff and I was playing it for the first time, trying those games, you really get to see the toxic side of people when you suck. I mean,
Yeah.
they'd be like, "Damn, who's this guy?" And I'd be like, "Oh shit."
Well, let
Like,
me let me tell you something. What's going on even in the gaming industry? That they're even implementing, you know, beliefs in the video games. For an example, in Rainbow Six Siege, because Rainbow doesn't mean anything about the Rainbow,
yeah,
Society or LGBTQ, whatever. So now they put characters with skins with the rainbow stuff and that ideology and etc. I was like, wait one second, why are they putting, gay characters and
yeah.
all this? And now I'm like, why are they doing this? What does this have to do with the game itself? This is a strategy,
The
first
game that
person
reminded me of
shooter.
that was what was it? It came out and it flopped. It was a game called Suicide Squad.
Oh,
And
I remember that
they
one.
changed up, it was after the Batman, Arkham Knight or Gotham Knights, something like that, or Arkham Knights where you were living in a tower, you could play with a friend online, and that one had a rainbow flag in it too, up in their base, and I that was, like, the first time I seen it, I think it's Gotham Knights is what it's called, Gotham Knights, and,
Mm.
yeah, and you watch this stuff come into the games more and more and more,
Yeah, I
and I
just
don't
don't
understand
see the
why.
point of it.
Yeah, I don't understand. And the options I heard for making the characters, you can make a, you know, a non-binary character now instead of just choosing male or
Yeah.
female, and it's like, was that really needed? Was it
Exactly. What it never was there for so many years, and now they're pushing it into the video games. So, there was one thing that I posted to a developer, to this company. I said, okay, now since you're putting that in, okay, I want a Christian conservative in there now. I want a person that's a vegan in there. I want somebody also that's a carnivore in
Yeah,
there. I want a Buddhist. Now that since you're putting this stuff there,
yeah,
let's push now this in there. Now, I said, if you don't, can it be considered discrimination now?
yeah.
Targeting.
Tell them
Because,
I tell them I wanna jump into Fortnite as Jesus. Put him on me.
yeah,
Put him on.
exactly. I mean, it's just crazy that, you know, usually I take games like a form to decompress, get out of this world, get out of the politics.
Exactly.
Let's just relax and have fun. Load of stress that people, come home from work. They just want to play something and get their mind off of everything, including politics, including all of the stuff that you see on TV. But then now they're pushing their narratives and all this stuff into the video games which in my opinion, they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
I don't care whoever plays it, whatever. I mean, but don't push beliefs in there because I'm sure if it was the tables were to turn and they say, okay, we're going to make this game more, uh, religious focus, and I want this game to be like this and etc. or whatever, more with political, uh, conservative views. No, they're not going to like it.
I know.
They're not
And
going to
one
like
there's
it.
a
So then
company out there.
don't.
Isn't it Sweet Baby Inc? I've heard of them, Sweet Baby Inc, that they do a lot of the woke stuff.
I don't know which ones do a lot of Vogue stuff. I mean, I know
I know
certain
there was
games
a recent
do.
game, I can't call the name right now, it was kinda like an Overwatch clone that they made, and they pulled it. I mean, people bought it, the game's been pulled, it's over now. It was like an Overwatch clone, and it was completely woke, and I'm always wondering, like, why would you even take your money and put that into that kinda stuff, you know?
Yeah,
You
I mean,
know
because
you're gonna have hell of a time out there with the public.
you know what's crazy is that a lot of these players, these young guys that play, they don't agree to it. The thing is, they're streamers. A lot of them are streamers, and a lot of them are pro players. So they have to keep everything to themselves.
Yeah,
They got to keep it hush hush. They can't give out their opinions because if they say, I don't agree with that, holy smokes, you got a
yeah,
world of people saying, "Oh no, you're this, you're racist, or you're this, you're anti this, and you're anti that. You're a fascist." And then what happened is, if they're with an organization or they're playing with, they're gonna get kicked out,
yeah.
and there
But
goes
they
their
would take
career.
their creator code away for with the company.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or the company where you're using to stream your channel also will ban you. So I mean, it's to the point that
and it
now
brings the
like
value
everybody's
down.
tippy
Yeah,
toeing.
it brings his but the person that's covering its value down because they cannot give you a real opinion without having some kind of penalty for themselves and what they're doing.
Yeah. There was this girl, I'm not gonna mention her name, that she was a pretty popular girl on Halo, and she made, and then it was hers. She designed and made this tournament, and she says, females, versus, females, or I don't she was doing this, tournament, but she says, "If you're a female, 100% female, I don't want nobody that is not." And she got so much lashback about that because she says, I'm not going to accept people that proclaim to be saying that they're a female to join in. And she says, I don't agree with this. This is my religious views, and I don't believe in that. I believe a man is a man and a woman is a woman. She got so much backlash, so much criticism to the point that they kicked her out.
Yeah.
They kicked her out, and that had to be canceled. And she says, "I still stand up on my beliefs." So it's coming down that it's affecting everything that it touches. The
Yeah,
woke, uh, you know, ideology is just affecting, and this is my opinion, is affecting everything that it touches. Everything that it goes, or if it goes in the gaming industry, is affecting it.
yeah.
If it now in the politics is affecting it. I mean, I don't know. It's totally crazy. Even at your job place,
Yeah.
you can't talk about it. You can't say anything. And if a person wants to be call himself Chi, you got to say Chi to her, to him. So then what I do, I reverse the tables. I say, well, I identify myself as Brad Pitt,
There you go.
as the actor Brad Pitt, and I want to be referred and called Brad Pitt
That's what I
because
told
I
him. If we can be
identify
whatever.
as him.
Yeah, I
And
told
if
people
you
to
don't do it, that's discrimination, and I will call an attorney.
Yeah. I told him before, I said, I go, if we can identify as what we want, then I'll just say I'm Prince Drax and they can all take a bow when I walk in a room.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I require a kneel. I require,
Yeah. Yeah, listen to you.
yeah.
Hey, I
Look,
identify
what
as that.
they want to be, what they want to identify. We can do the same thing, man. We'll just say we're royalty. Bow. We
Wow.
deserve a kneel when you enter a room, at least. So
Yeah.
anybody can play that game with, You know what I noticed too? Speaking of gaming, the wrestling games. Back in the day, the wrestlers could. This is in the year 2000, back a long time ago. You could have the female fight the wrestler in the game. A male and a female beat up each other in a wrestling game. Then they took that away for many moons, many years, and then this year
Mm.
they put it back in. It's like kind of watching game companies put their toe in the pool water to see what they can get away with and what's going to cause them problems.
Mm.
And I was like, it's a wrestling game. Who cares?
Yeah.
Been intergender wrestling since Andy Kaufman. So who
Yeah.
cares? But they took it away for a long time because they didn't want to offend anybody. So the whole world went topsy-turvy, man, between I'd say 2010 and till Trump got in, then it went crazy again for Biden. But we went kind of topsy-turvy and lost who we were for a while.
Do you
Trying to
think
trying to appease too many people.
do you think that things change when Bruce Jenner uh transitioned to Caitlyn Jenner?
I think that it was kind of the first awakening of people seeing like, oh, this is gonna go a lot more mainstream.
Mm.
So, I gave it, and like I said, that gives people the encouragement. The only thing, and with this whole transitioning thing, is what I feel bad for is the kids. I
Correct.
mean, I had this, I seen this video of a mother once going, I know my child is gay because he didn't like the blue blanket. He liked the rainbow blanket. He was like a little kid. Well, what the hell, when you're a kid, you're going to grab for the most shiny, colorful
Yeah,
object,
you're gonna go for more
period.
color stuff.
And
Yeah.
thank God that we grew up with parents that, didn't make some kind of crazy decision, right? Based on something totally illogical. And that's why I feel so bad for the kids dealing with all this shit today.
Yeah. I mean, once you're an adult, you could do whatever you want. I mean, that's what I say. You're an
Yep.
adult, do whatever you want. I don't care. But
It's a
once
free
you're a
country. I
kid,
know. Yeah, it's a free country too, and I know people
yeah.
that bothers people sometimes. They want it to be free, but they want it to be their version of free, and that's when
Yeah.
I say, well, I'm against some of the stuff that they do, and I'm against the pushing it on any kind of children. But other than that, it's a free country, man. Just try to keep it to yourself and don't push it on everybody, and America would go out and go about its merry way.
Yeah, true. Yep. Wait till they are 18 or yeah, I think that's 18 and older. They could do whatever they
Yeah,
want.
let them at least reach the puberty
Yeah,
years
let
and
them
see
reach.
who they really are. I mean, when I
Yeah.
grew up, there was something called a tom girl. And down
Yeah.
the road, they're married, they're just normal, they're just tom girls, man, they work
Yeah,
on
this
cars.
yeah, that's true. That's how it is. I mean, when I was young, I thought I was Spider-Man.
Yeah, you see now if
I
a
tried
little
climbing up the
girl
walls and
yeah,
yeah.
if a kid girl reached for a wrench and the mother saw it and goes, "Oh, look, she wants to be a boy."
Yeah.
No, she's a
Yeah.
tomboy, for God's sakes, let her be a kid.
Let her be a kid, let her have fun, get in
Yeah,
mud and play. And I think that's one of the things that we're losing a lot in society is like a lot of these kids are just the majority, not all, but a big majority is all behind a computer
they are,
or they're
and yeah,
playing.
this
They
neighborhood here 10 years ago, you seen kids and well, about 15, I should say, you seen kids out all the time around here. Now,
Mhm.
ghost town most of the time, they're inside on the iPads and on their Xbox.
Yeah. You know, s- there was somebody that brought a point to me. We were talking about that. And he says, well, how the crime rates are and how things that go on outside. I sometimes rather have my kid inside than outside. He says, you saw the news, somebody was going to the gas station to get something, and then there was a shootout. I was like, oh, God. Killed a couple kids or killed people, and I was like, okay, how did I defend that now?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh.
Well, do you think it's worse or just with the internet, we're more informed? I mean, I've always
That's
been told,
true.
like, when I was young, my parents let me roam the whole town. I mean, it would
Mhm.
whistle to get me to come home. That's fine. But I still think there was bad people out there, just that we weren't informed about everything like we are today.
That is so true because with the internet, we're seeing everything that's going
Everything.
on. Oh, this person shot this person. And you get the news more quicker than you have to wait at 5 o'clock
Yeah.
to get the news, to receive the news. So we're getting everything, through our cell phones. So you do make a point. That is true.
Yeah. Well, we went from when we got introduced to, I think it was Entertainment Tonight and stuff, the 24-hour news cycles. But now
Mm,
I get it. We can still say, well, we're still on a 24-hour news cycle. Yeah, but it comes at us 18 different ways to Sunday. Always seeing it,
yeah.
always taking it in.
Wow.
And I
Yeah.
do think that, like I said, if I don't, it's just like even with the serial killers. You used to, a couple of them. You don't hear about those much anymore. They cover that, and I'm always wondering what happened to them. Aren't they out
Yeah.
there? And they don't cover that. So it's really in the media nowadays. You have to fact check everything that you actually see out there. And that, you can't just, well, turn on MSNBC and guarantee you're getting the right information out of it, nor can you
No.
Fox News either.
Yeah. You got to listen to, uh, basically, listen to two or three sources and then
Yeah.
you make your own determination. As for me right now, um, I had some Democrat friends ask me, then what should I watch? Fox News? I go, no. I said, you want some real good stuff? And I said, well, I like PBD podcasts. Patrick Bet David, he's kind of down to earth. So I said, you could listen to Tucker, you could listen to other people. I gave some options out there. I said, not for nothing, some podcasters are giving out better information, better,
Well, yeah. I mean, you got like
accurate stuff
I usually
than the
call
news.
my partner Kay Daly, and I ask her what's going to come of this. And sometimes it's the answer you might not want to hear because it's the
Yeah.
DC answer, But that's the
Hmm.
way the game's played. Just with the when the Epstein stuff came out, and they were like, Pam Bondi, get rid of her. Everybody's saying we need to get rid of Pam Bondi. We need to get rid of Pam Bondi. Really? You want to do a confirmation right now that can't be confirmed?
Yeah.
So there's like, and I tell people, I go, I get it, man. You want a golden age, you want all this to start, and it can. The problem is that swamp we all speak of is a labyrinth of political bullshit that we got to maneuver around to get what we want.
Yeah. That's true. That is really true. You know what I haven't heard? The word felon that much on X. They don't call Trump felon. I said, what happened to felon? So now he's pedo?
Yeah,
Seriously? I said, well, I'm
yeah.
just waiting for them to start saying he's half alien from the planet Mars. That's gonna be the new trend.
Well, and a lot. We talked about this in space yesterday. I want your opinion on it. The George Santos case.
Oh,
Have you
I
heard of
don't,
George Santos? He did some
no.
whatever, took some money while he was in there and did some things that were nefarious, and now he's got a prison sentence. He's got to go do 7 years. A lot of
Mm,
people want him free on X. And,
really?
there's two different versions of, that some people think he deserves what he's got coming because he took a plea deal. So,
Mm,
I mean, so people, I believe that if you do the crime, sometimes you do the time. That's period. If
yeah.
especially if you take a plea deal. And with the Santos case, I mean, people are looking at it, they have a lot of sympathy for him, and they rightfully so. They know the guy. But if we want to put the Democrats away for doing bad things, and we want to do that right, then we got to be able to take our bumps and bruises we as they come in too.
Correct.
So you can't pull, and people look back and go, well, what about that they
I want to take a quick moment and talk to you about Aspire Energy Drink. Aspire is a healthy energy drink crafted using caffeine from premium green tea with zero sugar or calories. Aspire is refreshingly unextreme energy with only half the caffeine of traditional energy drinks, just enough energy to give you a pick me up, but never enough to give you crashes, jitters, anxiety, or insomnia. Aspire is one of the most relatable, down to earth energy drink option out there. Visit aspiredrinks.com and use promo code RASCALS to get 20% off your purchase. I do earn a commission when you use the promo code RASCALS, in which helps keep the podcast running. Again, go to aspiredrinks.com and use the promo code RASCALS for 20% off.
they overcharged, they did this and that, and it's like, okay, well, that was the Democrats. Now we're in power, so let us work with it. and see what's going on. But we can't be cutting people loose on our side and then still nailing them to the cross for when they do wrong. It needs to be equal among the law.
But,
So a
you
lot of
know,
people are upset about it, but in my opinion, he did the crime. You're going to do the time.
you're gonna do the time. But you know what's really crazy? What I see is more. I tend to see more conservatives going to jail or getting punished, like Bannon and all these other.
Yeah.
Uh, then how many Democrats have you seen in the past 8 years go?
Yeah, and then you have to wonder with when they were getting in trouble and stuff, and we look at all they've uncovered about the treason with Obama and all of them now. Do
Yeah.
we really want to trust the people who was running their DOJ and FBI, that system in play? And that comes
Mm.
back with the Epstein thing. Let her look into it. Let her take all the time in the world they're going to need. Because if we rush to judgment, we're doing just exactly what they do.
Yeah, I believe in my opinion, they should have Bondi should have said, okay, listen, I'm gonna release one file per year.
Yeah.
This year I'm gonna release the JFK. Next year I'll release the MLK. The following year and leave Epstein for last. Give
Yeah.
them time to investigate to see what's really going on.
Yeah.
But
And
it's like I tell everyone, if Trump did anything illegal,
oh, we would know. We would already have known.
they would have leaked it before the election, so Harris would have won by a landslide.
Yeah, and I mean,
But they
everybody's
didn't do it.
I understand they're upset about the Epstein thing, and, everybody has a theory on it. My theory to them that I say, and it's just a theory, is you don't take down a network of child sex trafficking, nothing like that, with a court case. You take it down with leverage on people.
Hmm.
So my hope is they're using it as some kinda leverage to get a bigger agenda done.
Yeah. Patrick
I
Bet
might
David
I
says
might be dead
something
wrong.
like that.
Yeah, I might be
Anyways,
dead wrong, but you don't win it by taking people like that to court. You win it by leveraging them to do the right things.
yeah.
And then
Then
there's the case if they did, let's say we woke up that morning and they dropped it all, and everybody's seen everything they wanted to see. Some people say that can make governments collapse
mm,
because people would uprise, and nature abhors a vacuum. So if it creates a vacuum and there's no, let's say the government collapses, there's nobody to put in place of that government, then you have total chaos.
wow. Yeah, I
And to
agree.
wake up and see we're all these powerful people that are controlling our lives, they're all dirty players like that, could cause a mass chaos situation.
It could. It could. So yeah, there's a lot of theories out there. So I just hope for the
But Pam
best.
Bondi, like you said, though, I agree. And Gunther Eagleman in a tweet put it, or in a video, he put it out, and he said, "Pam, just go to the microphone and tell us what's up. That's all you need to do. Just come clean, tell us what happened." I mean, I think she was wrong to even bring it up in the first place, then hand folders out to people looking
Yeah.
like we're preluding up to something, then have to drop this. But if you did, it's better. I've always said it's better to tell the American people the truth than a lie.
She
I
spoke
mean,
too
yeah,
much. I think she had to be a little bit more discreet and more, you know, quiet about it because it really ticked off Dan Bongino.
yeah.
And
Well,
that's
it made
one guy you don't want to lose in
yeah, I
in
think
the
it hurt,
army.
'cause he's fought for this so much, and then to hear it's just like telling the people they're not gonna do nothing, it hurt his morale of what am I doing here? So
Wow.
but I was glad that he didn't quit. There was rumors that him and Cash were gonna walk out, and I'm like, we can't be losing all these people right
No.
now. We got midterms, we got a country to run. We can't lose the guys that we put in play. So those guys can do another confirmation hearing and just screw us over.
Yeah. That's when Trump had to step in and say, "Okay, let me fix this up because this is I'm gonna." Those two guys are very influential in the
And they
Republican
have a lot of
side.
yeah, they have a lot of support from the people too.
Lot of support. If they
It
would have
would've and I
left,
think Trump
oh
knew, yeah. Trump
yeah,
knew if they I do not need these 2 guys walking out on me right now in front of everybody.
yeah.
That would've like I tell him, I go, "If we lost Bondi and we can't get somebody confirmed," I said, "it just puts everything more behind."
You know what's crazy? That I think Trump knew that if this is my opinion, if he could take Elon to leave, but he couldn't bear to have Cash and Bongino to leave.
Yeah. I think he has buyer remorse with Musk in some respects.
You
I
think
mean,
so?
he coulda grabbed anybody to be the Doge and go do cuts, and
Mhm.
then after Elon kinda went they had their little public fight, a little hiss fit, and to Elon, I mean, I understand, I really admire him a lot, but welcome to Washington. It's the way it works sometimes, you
That
don't
yeah.
always get what you want. You don't always get what you want, it might be down the road, it might be in another bill, but, that's how Washington works, and I don't know if he just didn't understand that, and I hated to see him when they were fighting like that, it's like, we don't need that right now.
Yeah,
You
we
don't need
didn't.
your average voter that don't understand politics. They only pick up on the top stories of the day and what's going on, and you don't wanna leave a trail of bad shit that's gonna make you not, make you lose voters already. And this Epstein thing for a minute, it went crazy. But, like, I
Yeah,
kept telling people, "I get it. I'm pissed too." I felt like it was like, "Wow, this is wrong." But are we really single issue voters? Because that's one issue of many, and in his agenda, he's doing a lot that he promised he'd do.
yeah,
I mean, we got the Doge cuts, and then what I voted for personally was not even for my it's for me and everybody else. I wanted the illegals gone.
mhm,
We're not gonna we don't have the money for this. We won't have the money if we keep millions of extra people around this country. You just can't do that. And then to me, these people are unchecked, unchallenged. You don't know who they are. So, and I know it's harsh what we got to do to get them out. And I wish there was a easier way with that no amnesty. That if you were here and you were working and you were a good citizen and all that, and we could prove you were good, you could stay. But that ain't the way this works right now. Everyone goes, and then we'll do a tally after.
yeah,
And I feel, but the ones I feel for is like I heard about a college kid, I should say. He got pulled over and he just did probably partying and stuff, forgot to fill out that crap, and he's gone. No amnesty. And I feel for those people like
you
that because I
know,
I make mistakes too, and I forget to fill out something at the bank or some bullshit at with my insurance. I make
yeah,
mistakes too, but unfortunately, with the crime being the level it was and what's happening, they gotta go.
yeah, you know, so many stuff I want to talk to you about. Okay, let me finish the part with Elon. Do you believe? Now, this is once again my opinion. I thought about this very well because you remember now there was a tax on the Tesla stores. There was a tax on Tesla vehicles. People that and usually the owners of these Teslas were Democrats, the big majority.
Yeah,
Pro Earth and pro Green and all this stuff. All this, I said to myself, how can this be stopped? I said, the only way this is going to be stopped, and this is way back. This is when it first started. When you start seeing in the news that, people attacking, all these Tesla vehicles,
yeah,
etc. I said, the only way this is going to stop, in my opinion, there's going to have to be a disagreement between Trump and him and Elon leaving, like in an argument.
yeah.
Once again, this is me. I'm speculating. I just this a thing that popped in my mind, and then all of a sudden I see it happen out. I was like, "Whoa, wait 1 second. This played out exactly what I thought."
Exactly like
And
you
then
thought.
all of a sudden, the people are like, they stopped. I don't see no more attacks on Tesla dealerships. I don't see nobody attacking Tesla vehicles now.
I was more upset when they were attacking the like, the Teslas, I always figured were a lefty car, the electric type things,
Yeah,
and they attacking them. What that pisses me off is who are they to tell people what they can drive and buy, and, that's another thing, people pushing on people what they can do, what they can buy, what they can drive.
they're American vehicles.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
what I'm saying, so
and
it makes no sense why like I said, they're going down there and trashing them and, harassing people driving them. That's un-American, and you
do
can't
you
do that.
do you think that fallout was really legit fallout between them two, or was it because
I questioned it because it was just weeks before it all happened that they were talking about the media trying to separate them and all that stuff. And,
well they knew they were going to be trying to get separated from the beginning?
oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, it almost makes me question if they did just set up a fight between them 2 to do like, but I can't see how that even benefits Trump in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, me either.
Because I mean, we're coming up on the midterm, so I don't know if I'd be playing. Like that's people suggest that I don't know if I'd be playing a game like that
Oh,
out in
and
public.
and the stuff that Elon said was kind of harsh. Once he
Yeah,
said, "Oh, it's because he's on the list."
yeah, he's.
It's like, "Are you
That's what I said.
freaking
That's
kidding
what
me,
I meant
dude?"
by I said I think the president might have a little buyer's remorse at that junction,
It's
once
like,
he's reading this, like,
"Dude,
"Are you for real? You didn't
are
get
you
your way
for
you didn't get your way in a bill in DC of all places, and this is the response I gotta deal with like a child."
He deleted that post. He
Oh,
deleted
yeah, I would
everything.
too, I mean, my lord, I was like, but if
You
Elon,
better prove it, and you better make sure because that's right there defamation. Because I mean,
yeah,
not just because because there's so many people that knew this guy Epstein. They knew him, And then doesn't mean that you did something illegal because he took pictures of everybody
Exactly.
with
Yeah, and I
I'm
think
sorry, with everybody.
the
So
public pictures that have
yeah,
circulated for a long time now of the creeps on that island. It has everybody's blood boiling, and they were
yeah,
expecting, that they're gonna get them all in one swoop. I think that's what they were thinking,
yeah, I
and
think so too.
I still think you'll see something come of this down the road. That's what I
Yeah,
think. I mean, this
I think
isn't
something's
it isn't
gonna
over.
happen. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, that falling out between Elon and Trump, and I think they're trying to. I don't know if they're gonna, bring back things. I don't know, probably
Well,
after
I
or
mean, I
before.
think his Doge job was over, so
Yeah.
now it just be that they're getting along like buddies, and I do salute Elon for coming in and doing the job he
Oh yeah,
did,
he did
because we needed
phenomenal.
to find out what was going on with this country, and we found out big time where our money was heading.
Yeah.
I mean, get a homosexual gerbil experiment in Palestine or some shit, I mean, we were paying for this.
Yeah. That is so true. Some weird stuff.
That
But
was
you
that
know
when
who
no, when
also
I heard
discovered?
you know what they found though? Let me tell you this, a racist mouse. They were trying to type if mice were racist, and then I told somebody, I go, "I'm actually doing that test. I went and got a mouse from a pet store, threw it in a cage in the corner over there," and they go, "What?" And I said, "It's surrounded with China propaganda. We'll see what happens."
Oh my god, it's just freaking insane. But you know who also did something like Doge, and everybody kept it quiet. And I posted. It's on YouTube. Obama. Obama. I will send you the link afterwards. Obama saying, why are we paying for a fiddling whatever these group that plays a fiddle at this country for spending? This is a
Yeah,
waste." I'm like, wait 1 second. He said the same exact thing, and nobody protested about that.
nobody cared.
Nobody. I'm gonna tell you something now. This is a topic that I want to get into with you with the illegals. Guess who appointed Tom Homan?
Who appointed him?
Yeah.
The president, right?
Yeah, but which president was it?
Well, he came in under Trump for the border, but wasn't he? He was with Obama, wasn't he?
He was with Obama.
Yeah,
He was with
and
Obama.
he died.
Oh, I was like, wait 1 second. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Because I had to fact check Stephen A. Smith. He says, I know you worked with Obama and you worked with Bush. I was like, whoa, with Obama?
Obama.
This guy's the guy deporting home. And I looked it up. I grunked it. I also chat GPT. I Googled it just to double check. Tom Homan, yeah. And it's just freaking wild. And I say do things in a humane way. I don't agree how ICE is kind of doing this stuff. I don't There's certain ways of how you could deport people that are illegal, or they're doing something, that they shouldn't have and they came in illegally. But there's those like you said about the college student, so he forgot to
Yeah,
sign something.
but
I
yeah.
kind of like, oh god, that I don't agree with that.
Yeah, like, I felt for the college kid that was pulled over, and they got him out of here, and he just missed some paperwork he needed to fill out, and, a lot some of these people are working in our country, and,
Yeah, did
they're just like I said, I'm dumb too, I forget paperwork all the time, man, on something like, my insurances and stuff, so, but that's where it's the only thing that makes me think like, "Man, I wish we could do that a little different because I hate to see good
yeah.
people be yanked out, especially if they're just living their life in the way they should be living it."
And they're following the rules, they're following the law to the T. They're doing everything. They're not committing crimes. They're y you
Yeah,
know
some of them actually are working for that American dream, and
yeah,
they're not the ones that we see getting caught in fields and, picking straw, nothing like
uh,
that. These are people that really come here to try to make a better life, and then they get caught up, and they're gone.
isn't Trump gonna do something for those? He said
I would
something.
I would hope so, down the road or even, if we could sort it for them.
He said he's gonna do something for the farmers, the ones that work in the strawberry fields and do all that. He's
Yeah,
gonna give them like a temporary visa or something he's gonna do for them. So it's kind of
Well,
like,
Trump's ran into a few hiccups with the judges over all this too, the
yeah,
way he's doing it. So, and again, I voted for it, and that's why I'll stick by him. I'm sticking with the President Trump on the deportations. It's got to be that way. However,
yeah,
if I could switch a couple things, I think I would do it.
yeah,
Just for
me
the good
too.
people, just for the good guys. I mean, when I see let's say a 26-year-old here that's working and his family's fine, they're all working, they're paying their taxes, but oops, they didn't fill out that DACA work or something stupid.
Damn.
Boom. Their whole lives is changing now, and I
I
feel for
know,
those people.
I know a person that was here on a work visa, and um, he went to go renew it, and there was something missing, and it was by a day or something, and they picked him up, and he says,
God,
look, I got it. I already renewed it. I'm just waiting for the document to come in and etc. And they go, no, you gotta go. You don't have it. You forgot this. And I felt so bad. And he was a Trump supporter.
yep.
And
That's
I
what I'm
was
talking
like,
about. Them ones there that they really get to you because you're sitting there like me. I sit here and say I voted for it and all that. Those ones there is what makes me go,
yeah.
damn.
And
Yeah,
I feel bad in a way because I'm Latino myself. But
yeah.
I'm from Puerto Rico. But Puerto Ricans, we're all U.S. citizens. And we just, I mean, so I kind of feel bad for my brothers and sisters from other countries, Latino countries. I mean, it's like, oh, and some of them I just say, listen, just do it the legal way, man. I just,
Yeah, go through the
do
port
it
of
the
entry.
legal way. It's like nobody can go over there in your country and do it. You know, just do it over
But you
here.
gotta but some of those in a way though, they didn't do the illegal way, but it was our President Biden that opened the gate for them and let them come right in. So, I
Yeah.
mean,
So
it's
what?
like
How's it their fault?
it's a for them, I'm sure they feel they're in a catch-22, you know? They came in under Biden, they just said, "Okay, it's open, we can go right in," and they got
Yeah.
here, got their stuff. Now they got Trump elected, they're gone. They shouldn't have did that, alright? So it's catch-22 for them.
Because not even Obama did it like that. Obama deported so many illegals, like, I mean, like crazy.
And we're still having illegals are still getting into the country. I mean,
Oh, but
where
it's very
it's
few.
down a lot, but it still
What
happens.
was it that entered like a couple months ago? That I heard they entered 3 people.
Yeah,
Enter,
well, come walking through.
yeah, 3. They were met. They, able to come in illegally. 3
3.
versus the
It's a lot hey,
thousands.
we're doing better. I mean, I'd rather
Yeah.
have the 3 come over than a caravan of
Oh
them coming
yeah.
in.
Then a caravan. So I kind of like in that aspect. I think those that came in under Biden is not their fault because they were told, hey, you could come in,
They were told, "Walk right through there."
walk right through.
And then get a cell phone, a blue check mark, head to Twitter, and get a food card. And here's your insurance too. And the thing was, this is what hurts the American people. Some of them were getting paid with Social Security and stuff money more than what the American people are getting.
Wow.
I mean, you got an illegal down there with a bridge card, and he's making $1,500 a month. You turn around to the American person that's making 800
Mm.
on their disability. There's where, like I said, they pissed a lot of people off with it, but also catch-22 for them because it was open. They came in, they did their thing, and now a new administration comes in. It's different,
It's totally different.
totally different. That's got to be like I said. I hope a lot of them would just choose to self-deport. That would probably be better than waiting for the alternative, to being
Yeah.
cuffed and thrown in somewhere in a waiting thing. I wish they'd self-deport, but that's wishful thinking.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's so tough because I know a lot of legals that are in church and they're really good people, and they're like, I came here because they said we were able to come in
We're
and
the
I'm
ones that
working
wanted to
and
free
and I was like,
the ones that wanted to flee a country because, even people like you or me would not wanna live in that country either,
yeah.
Want the hell out.
And it was crazy. And I'm gonna tell you something. I was working in a hotel industry in the island in Puerto Rico, and one of them there was under construction. All of a sudden, I see these ICE agents and the feds come in and they question, "Are you an American citizen?" I say, "Well, you damn right better believe I am. I'm born and raised here in the island." And they're like, "Oh, okay, thank you." And I was like, "What are they looking at?" They go, "Oh, the illegals around here." I go, "Really?"
They're
Yeah,
there.
catching illegals and working in Puerto Rico as well.
That's funny.
I
Hell
was like,
yeah.
that's freaking wild. I never experimented that. I didn't know. So it was like, well, it's probably like Cubans. They come over and I was like, oh, now I get it.
Well, that was one thing. Got one guy that had his money all set up here. Then they cut the scene where he went back to Cuba like 15 times in the year. Okay, yeah, if
Really?
you like it so much there, then stay there and do your thing. If you like it here, then stay. So I get where people get upset.
Yeah. I don't know.
And another problem they probably had too, if we're talking about doing no amnesty, if they did want to go with some leniency, we might be thinking of like one person in our mind, but that would open up a bunch of stuff. They would probably have to hire people and everything else to get that all done that way. You know,
yeah.
workers and all that. So that's another like it could end up opening up another bad situation because there's so many here.
True, true. I think, and this is my opinion, what I believe, if you're gonna deport the criminals, deport the gang members, deport these people that do legit bad things. If you catch somebody that's here illegally, they're good, hardworking workers, and they come here to do good. They have one of their kids studying, and they have a clear track, record. Their history, they're fine. Do some type of program
Do a program.
and have them fill out the paperwork and give them, 10 years and have them work their citizenship, and to help those out, because I just feel bad
Yeah,
because
'cause
there's a
some of them, I'm
lot of good
sure, I
one
mean,
here.
even in their neighborhoods, their neighbors are probably like, they were good people,
Yeah,
never
people's
caused
like, "What are
real
you talking
issue.
about? These the nicest neighbors ever. They're really good. They help me out, and except my kids play with their kids, and they're good folks that have nothing." I just it's always been broken. It's always been broken. I just don't know. I just hope there's a terms that we can come to a happy medium with it.
Yeah, and what sucks too is to know that these people got a game played on them politically to even get here to the point they were at. They let them all in for political reasons. They're hoping these people can vote.
Yeah,
Now they
vote.
turn you back on
Yeah.
'em, and like I said, so it was a sham, and they let them all in just for their own selfish reasons so they could use people as political pawns.
I'm gonna tell you something. Us Puerto Ricans in the island, we can't vote for the president of the United States of America.
Really?
We can't. And we're US citizens. Now we're drafted in the war if we gotta go to war.
Yeah. So you gotta go to
Isn't
war.
that crazy?
Yeah,
The
you're
guy
coming
that's
with it.
sending us to war, we can't vote for it. Now, as soon as I come to mainland, I can vote.
Right, okay. That's 'cause it's like a territory, right?
Yeah, it's because it's
Yeah.
a Commonwealth.
Commonwealth.
Yeah, it belongs to the United States because US freed us from slavery from Spain because Spain was freaking close by. They're like, screw that. We're gonna bomb the heck out of those people, get them out of here. So they did. So there's quite a bit of a history to it. But yeah, all my uncles, veteran, Vietnam veteran, my uncle, and another one was at World War II. So they all were drafted. So I mean, we're proud,
Yeah.
but the thing is that we can't vote for the president of the United States. It's kind of crazy, So I'm saying if
That is
you're
kinda
gonna
crazy 'cause usually they let people vote by exemption if they're overseas, you know? I mean, so I'm
yeah,
surprised. I mean, you are a citizen here. If you have to go to war for the country, you should be able to pick your
yeah.
leader.
I
You
mean,
should
we gotta we use U.S. currencies, we pay taxes, we pay federal taxes, income taxes. I mean, we do everything there
they want you to come to the mainland
to
if
the
you didn't
mainland
wanna
to vote. Then I could
Oh.
vote. If I live here, I could vote. Yeah, I'm in the mainland. It's the most ridiculous thing, but it's
They must
it's
fear you
crazy.
guys they must fear there might be many blue voters there that
It
be up.
is. That's I'm gonna to be really honest with you. That's in my opinion. That's what it is
Yeah.
because a lot of our family members, a lot of them are from New York.
Ah, see? With it.
So New York is very Democrat. So they kind of like fear that, well, if Puerto Rico is allowed to vote, then or becomes a state, because we voted for it to become a state and we won it. But United States said no, and this has been going for
Yeah,
years and
they
years.
they they look at
We
the
ask,
trajectory and what would come
yeah,
out of it.
we ask, but we've been asking a lot of presidents for it, and they all said no.
Well, it's just, look
It's
at when
crazy.
we talked about buying Canada or letting Canada join us and stuff, but in the end, you don't want that either. It's all liberals up there. So
Yeah.
you put Canada in, you'd be taking in a huge voting blocks of the left,
Ooh.
basically. That's the outcome of that.
Yeah. I think Trump was trolling. I mean, because he loves to
Oh, he
troll.
was. He was. That's Crown Land too.
Yeah, he's troll master. He just loves to spark up stuff that gets
That's
people
one of the
riled.
things I love about Trump is he's made that getting into, like, doing pub chat and my shows, political comedies and stuff, he
Mm.
never disappoints. He always I mean, it's about once a day you can find something Trump did that makes you go, "Jesus Moses."
This
And
guy,
I think that they hate him for the fact that he can say, just like the F-bomb on TV that he threw out there, the guy can say anything and people just end up I mean, where other people be like, "Oh my god, the president," all the American do to him is laugh and say, "Trump's at it again."
yeah,
I mean, if it be it and I remember if, let's say back in the '90s, if a guy like Trump woulda came along and tried to be president, I don't think the American people would stand for it. We're a different world now.
yeah. But you know what's crazy? I know, like Gavin Newsom tried to imitate the stuff that he does, and I'm like, Gav, it's not gonna work out for you. It's not working out. Now you're trying to cuss on TV. Nah, it's not. It's
Yeah, I mean, Newsom, man, he probably has aspirations to run, but do you make yourself such a pain in the ass during stuff we gotta deal with out there, you know? I
yeah,
mean, and then, it was his, pot farm that got busted with the illegal workers there,
yeah,
you know? Jesus, and this guy, I mean, but let him and AOC run. I'd love to see that one, see
yeah.
how it works out for him, but, I don't think even if they take Newsom and they're 2 best right now, that in 4 years, the American people will say, "You know what? We're ready to go back and try it again, what we went through with Biden and them." Because right now, we're seeing just on the cusp of all this treason talk, and they knew everything about Russia, and it's all coming out now. So that's gonna help too with the American people saying, "Can you really
Wow.
trust them? Can
Can
you?"
you really?
And that's even with the Epstein thing, like I said, do you really trust the DOJ and the FBI that had all that stuff?
Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. I mean, it's really crazy
What's
what's going.
really and I say this a lot in my show when it gets crazy, I say, "Isn't it neat, guys? We're living in a Tom Clancy novel that never
Oh
ends."
yeah,
But I'm telling you, for me, that's not a bad thing. I'm like, in a 24-hour news cycle, it is the most best time to be alive in history watching what's all happening around
oh,
here.
because now it's just going viral. Anything that's going out, it spreads out like a wildfire.
Yeah, and
And
we
next to
also
the other story, like I said, the Tesla things that was happening what last month or
Yep,
2 months ago,
2 months
and it
ago.
now and that was the biggest talk. It could every single day. Now you don't even hear a peep about it. And some other stuff is like okay, everything just drastically changing, and
Yep,
it's
and for a while, I always wondered what would happen overseas, if a country like Iran possessed a nuke or a small nuke, what would happen? Well, we
yeah,
found that out, man. We blew them into we blew their, nuclear operations into smithereens.
yeah,
So, the only ones you gotta worry about are the 3 and the 3rd, and that's China, Russia, and America like it's always been.
yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy because I mean, geez. What do you think about that, Ukraine and Russia? You think that's ever gonna end or because that's one thing that Trump said
Well,
he
I
was gonna
I think
end it, and I
yeah.
think he tried, but, I mean,
Well, there's another
Zelensky
one of those promises that I tell him about, like, what president can keep them all? We promised he'd end that war before his feet touched the carpet in the Oval Office. Uh-huh, well, we gotta deal with Russia.
yeah,
And, a lot of people get on me and say, "Drax, you're such an old guy," because 'cause I'm always like, "Don't trust them Russians, don't trust them." Well, here
yeah,
we are. We've tried to talk to them all. We tried to work, and here we are. So I am that's one I'm particularly watching to see how it does play out, because who knows?
Upgrade your screen time, whether you're gaming, working, or just browsing, with Gamer Advantage blue light blocking eyewear. They are expertly crafted for gamers or for anyone that's in front of a screen for long hours. Featuring Resmi lens technology, these glasses are engineered to minimize digital eye strain and shield your eyes from the detrimental effects of blue light. Doctor recommended, potentially boost focus, and significantly enhance sleep quality, ensuring you stay at the top of your game. Visit gameradvantage.com for more information and use promo code RASCALS at checkout to get 10% off your purchase. I do earn a commission when you use the promo code, which helps sustain and grow the podcast. Once again, visit gameradvantage.com for more information and use promo code RASCALS at checkout to get 10% off your purchase.
I do know this, man. We can't keep giving Ukraine a ton of money, and I guess if NATO wants to go in there and start using some other countries to fund them, but I think it's pointless. I would force them at a table, but you can't with Russia. But the one thing I would give Russia back is Crimea. You're
Mm.
gonna have to give them something. They've lost 1,000,000 soldiers. You gotta give them something.
But yeah, Kennedy said something not too long ago. I mean, well, years ago. I'm sorry, years ago. He said how that war kind of like actually all started, and it's kind of wild. It was kind of like our fault,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
American fault, you know. So he was explaining that Russia said fine, but don't have NATO come any closer and this and that. And we just like said, you know, screw it, we're gonna do it anyhow. And that's when they came into a full attack. It has to do with something with NATO. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
And they noticed that NATO was coming in, you know, getting closer with the countries and all this stuff. And it was just like, okay, what is going on here? And it's all
NATO
about
sees
money.
Yeah, NATO wants that war machine to keep turning, and I think what Trump
Yeah.
probably told them is they can keep turning, but we're not gonna pay for it anymore. We can't be the sole source of paying them.
Wow. That's wild.
And you saw what happened with Zelensky when he came to Washington. I mean, on that,
Yeah.
press conference he had with Trump, that was
Yeah. It was
classic.
JD Vance really put the put the boot in him.
Yeah. Yeah. And
He really,
rightfully so, man. And
yeah.
also we, just like with any Russian thing, strength and force is what takes a Russian to do something. So
Yeah.
all this talk, I don't know, but with Putin, I don't think Putin or China or anybody wants World War III right now. Because, in an all out war like that, there's only one solution, and it's the nuclear solution, and everybody loses.
And everybody loses.
Everybody loses. They lose, we all go away.
Even if it doesn't hit you, that
Oh,
radiation spreads
yeah.
out
Yeah.
and
Watch,
it's gonna you're
yeah.
gonna die from it, you know? So
Yeah,
it's like
people that don't understand that just need to watch, like, an HBO Chernobyl show, and they'll see what radiation can do when it gets in the air
it's
and
exactly.
travel.
That sucker travels and it will just kill everybody. The innocent that it doesn't have no remorse. Wow.
Now over at, from what I'm understanding with Israel over there, the reason they don't go in is the hostages. They got the hostages there,
Mhm.
and still have this hostage issue. I feel so bad for those hostages when I see them and how they're being treated and how they are. Sometimes, in my own opinion, I wish they'd just level the whole place and be done with this. So, but
Yeah.
I've been told that they have to that they, they wanna get those hostages out. Well, I wish they'd speed it up and do something about it because there's no such thing as Palestine anyway. But here we are.
Yeah. You know, that was something I was looking into. And like I said before, I listen to a lot of podcasters, and I don't know what the world is going on with Candace Owens. I mean, I'm truly disappointed in her when it comes to the
Oh,
Gaza
she's
and all this
definitely
stuff.
changed.
She went off. She's like gone now. I mean, not now she's just pure hatred, in
Yeah,
my
and I don't
opinion.
understand that. With some Americans these days, it's like, the younger groups I understand. For all of us that lived through 9/11, we know what this is all about.
Yeah,
It's always been about all of this bullshit. And
yeah,
it seems like and when people tell me, "Well, Drax, it's went on for 2,000 years." Well, then is it time for us to end it?
yeah.
2,000 years of bullshit.
It's crazy. I mean, Israel's been going through.
You cannot appease people that are as nuts as Hitler.
Yeah,
That's what we're always trying to do over there. By the time I'm my age now, we should be vacationing on the Gaza Strip and visiting the Holy Land.
yeah,
But see, we can't do that because it's a nightmare. Like I said, after all these years, and people are like, well, it's been going on, Drax, for 2,000 years, and don't you think it's time to put an end to it?
it is time. I mean, to for this war to stop. But if we go biblically speaking,
Exactly.
there's only one person that's gonna bring peace for. Well, it's not gonna be for 7 years. Oh well, 4 years, and so he's gonna be for 7 years. First 4 years, something like that, and then the rest is gonna be
And the
freaking
rest is going to
war.
be, yeah,
Is the
going to be,
Antichrist.
yeah.
So,
When
okay,
they're
I don't
all
want
waiting.
him.
So I don't know. Maybe my idea would pave the way for him to walk up to the wall.
Yeah, he's gonna. Jeez.
But I've always said, man, I go, I've always, and I did think this as a kid. I'm like, I go, man, if we ever want to visit over there, probably by the time I'm my age now, there'll be McDonald's and everything else
Yeah,
over there. It's not though. I wouldn't want to go there for the life of me to stand around there and say, oh, I just want to see this site. And then you end up kidnapped by one of them.
yeah. I wanna go visit the tomb of Christ
Yeah.
I can't
But
now.
see, that's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be that way for us. It's been going on for how long? We should be able to say like, hey, man, we got frequent flyer miles. We're heading over to Israel to check out this and that and this.
Yeah.
But no, we're still in that struggle, and we've been in that struggle, like you said, forever. It's been a long time, but even, like, we had 20 years of wars in that sandbox over there. We keep going back over there, and I know it's the military industrial complex that need their money, but you think that eventually the world would say, "We need to do this X, Y, and Z so we can get on with the new world."
Yeah, true, man. True.
And then you got, those, how many the 300 to 500,000 missing kids, and they're still looking for those poor kids, you know?
Yeah, you know what's really crazy because a lot of stuff is coming out, and there's one guy I really listen to a lot is Officer Tatum, and he's explaining that a lot of stuff they were posting about this child that like super skinny and then arrested, it came out
Oh,
to be false.
oh,
That kid is actually sick, has some type of disease, and they're using that as a uh, you know
poster child.
to put out baloney out there and make people think that, Israel is bad. And he's like, no, that was actually not true. That kid is actually sick. And it's not because of they're starving them, it's
Malnutrition and
and I was like, oh, wait one second. Okay, let me listen now to see what's going around on the other side of the story because I'm getting mixed stuff. So I looked it up and, Tatum was right.
sure as shit.
I was like,
Propaganda.
"Oh, okay." And it's like he said, "Don't forget who attacked Israel first was
That's what I'm saying.
Hamas."
I remember October 7th. I was covering it. It was actually I was on a show, getting ready to go on a show that night, and I told the person I was working with, Kimmy, I said, "This is gonna be a big historical news night." They just attacked the Iron Dome like that, and it was. I mean, here we are years later, it's still happening. We're still discussing the same incident, and it began that day when they attacked the Iron Dome.
And it's sad because they killed kids.
Oh, yeah.
They
Well, they
killed
lowered the
them.
shield. You lower the shields of that dome. The dome over there can take, I think it's for every 24 rockets or 25 fired, 1 will get through. So you lower the shield and they just all go through.
Wow, man. But they came in by what was it? They came in also through a strip in the beach. There was a gay parade or whatever.
Yeah, and the
And they came in
bridge,
and
before the bridge.
landed and they shot all those people, and I'm like, "Okay, okay, where's the LGBT community protesting against Hamas now?
Yeah.
They
No,
were
that
killing your own people out
no,
there."
no, most of those people go to Washington and wave a flag for those people.
That's why I just don't understand. It's like, this is so confusing. I just literally saw a video. They were in the parachutes, and they're coming down, and they were just shooting at everybody at this festival that you see, the pride flags all over, and they were just shooting them.
Shooting.
I was like, "Oh my gosh." So people forget. They just
Yeah.
tend to forget.
And I know it's been, now I'm looking back, what, 3 years ago the Iron Dome was attacked? So 2 or 3 years back now. I think it's almost 3 years.
Yeah.
I know and then when the Russia-Ukraine's been going on forever,
Yeah,
and
that's
we're
been
trying
going
to
on
figure that
for
out, you know? And I will say this for Israel, though. Israel said they really don't need our help. They got it they can do their own war. Israel doesn't really need the United States to hold their hand. Ukraine, on the other hand, needs NATO to hold their hand.
yeah. Ukraine doesn't have the same technology as Israel does.
And here's the one that with Ukraine, just to go back to that, what always confused me. When I heard a drone of Ukraine's hit Moscow, and I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, well, they're going to turn and annihilate now, right? Because if a drone hit us in our capital, what do you think how would we respond?
Oh,
So I've always thought, like, what are these men doing? You got
yeah.
Putin, make a decision now. I mean, if they got your capital with a drone, if that was us, it would be war, all out war.
Oh, yeah. Well, look what happened with 9/11.
Exactly.
We were we were just like,
The country would, if that happened in our country, they would have every flag on the porch by morning calling for war around here.
Yeah.
Just like with 9/11, you remember we went to bed that night, you
Oh,
wake up
yeah.
the next day, everyone's got a flag out, and the whole country's
When
covered in and red, white, and blue.
let me tell you what happened I was in Puerto Rico when that happened. The lines the lines for the army to get recruited was, I mean, hundreds
Volunteers,
and
baby.
hundreds of people. And I said, I'm coming in too. So I tried to come in afterwards, but I had issues with my eyesight and some other stuff that it said physically I couldn't. I said, man, but how hard is it to pull a trigger? And they're like, sorry, we can't take you. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Is there something I could do? And they go, no, we can't. I was like, oh, man. But I went
At
ahead
least
and
you know
said,
you tried, though, to do it. I
I
tried, man.
tried, man. I
I
was
no
so freaking
Yeah,
upset.
I'm divorced from her now, but the woman I was with started throwing a fit and said, we get a divorce, and I've always thought now, I was like, "I shoulda just went. I shoulda just did it, man. I shouldn't have
Yeah.
worried about some broad," but, that was how it was back then.
Wow.
I was actually on 9/11, I was working at a meat department. I'm a meat cutter. When I had my
Hmm.
career, I was a meat cutter, and, there was so long ago, and there was a radio. There was no phones to look at or my boss
Yeah.
came out and goes my boss looks at me, he goes, "Drax, I just met you. I've only been working there 2 days," and he goes, "I just met you, man. I don't know if, you care about this stuff." He goes, "But, a plane just hit the, World Trade Center, and of course, in my mind, I saw a small plane off the Hudson, maybe did something." And, then he looked at me, he goes, "Also, the Pentagon's been hit." Now that's when I ended up dropping my pricing gun and realizing, like, "Uh-oh, that's not supposed to happen."
That's
And
not
then
no.
we went back and stood around a little radio and listened to it till, all the reports coming in, and I always remember that story because 'cause I'm like, "Man, that was a different world." I had to go call my wife from a payphone. I
Mm.
put a quarter in there. There was no cell phone to look at.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I
whoever
forget
had a
these
cell
days.
phone had
Oh, you were uppity if you had those cell phones back
yeah,
then.
you had good money and back then also we had beepers.
Oh, I had a pager, yeah. I had the
Those,
pager.
those you got to call someone and say, "Hey, yeah, that's wild."
When I used to have a pager, I used to tell them, like, "You guys gotta stop putting 911 after your numbers." Why? Because it's not an emergency. But I wanted to taunt you. It makes you call back quicker. My god.
Yeah.
That was one of the problems with a pager, man. Everything turned into their number plus 911.
I hated that. I really do. I hated when they say 911 because I was like, "What the heck?"
Yeah. Then you
Uh,
call them back like, "Is everything okay?" "Yeah, I just need you to see if you can meet me at the bar."
yeah. Can you loan me $10? I'm like, this.
"Can you loan me
You
10
couldn't
bucks?"
waited for this. I'm like, "Jeez."
Yeah, that's back in the day, though. Somebody called you now and said they want 10 bucks, you'd say, "What do you want, a water? I got one in the fridge."
Yeah. Uh, well, Drax, it's that time, man.
Yeah.
I
Excellent
got
time,
tons
bud.
of stuff to do, and I know you're probably busy as well. And
Always, man. I'll tell you what, my schedule's always packed. This week, I
yeah,
got pub chat. I got, Friday night, a live show, an interview with a lady from X on MK Ultra. Saturday night, I'll be on 9 o'clock for a Dexter Taylor, concert they're putting on X.
okay.
And then,
Well, you know what? Let's take this time to give everybody your socials where they could find you,
oh, yeah, man, yeah, it's
all the
been
stuff.
great.
Go ahead, stage is
Yeah,
yours.
you'll find me at Drax2431 at X, and pretty much Drax2431 on all major social media platforms, man, but X is my main one we roll on. Monday, Wednesdays, pub chat, 9 PM EST with me, Soviet Road, and DCK. Then we're gonna roll on into Friday where we're gonna have Drax's Pit. That's our live stream. We'll be interviewing targeted individual about MK Ultra and targeted harassment. Saturday, we'll be rolling up with Joe Lanu. Patriot Rob from the Proud Boys, and myself will be holding a Dexter Taylor concert, and we'll be hearing from Dexter Taylor out there in the prison. He'll be talking to us about his gun charges and stuff like that. And then Sunday, Soviet Road and Amir putting on a Holocaust night in Twitterville, since there's been so much talk about trying to call them indigenous people and not saying, not teaching it in history. We want to make sure we're providing that history along with varieties of entertainment. So we'll be on Sunday night with me and Soviet Road and discussing the Holocaust. And Rodin actually had family members in her grandfather was in the Holocaust up in Russia, and I believe he survived it. And she's got a book coming out about him, and she's going to be telling us all the stories come Sunday night. So really looking forward to it. You can catch me, like I said, my main platform is X, where X marks the spot. Drax 2431, baby. And thank you, Jeff. It's been a great interview.
Hey, it's been an honor and a pleasure. And this won't be the first nor the last. I'm sure gonna bring you
Oh,
back
hell
on.
yeah. Oh, yeah, anytime you
Yeah,
need me, just get a hold of me and, come
yeah.
see us on X too. Stop in the pub chat.
Sure thing, man. Thank you so much. Okay, folks, you know what time it is? Don't forget to go ahead and follow Drax. He's a phenomenal person. Take care. God bless. Peace.
Thank you for listening to this episode on the Rascals Lounge podcast, and please don't forget to follow us on X and on your favorite podcast platform.